We always like to say our motto here. We have a motto. Motto. Does anyone here know our motto by any chance? Unconditional love in uncompromising faith. Unconditional love in uncompromising faith. Who knows what the greatest commandments are? There's a lot of commandments. 613 commandments there are. What is considered the top ones? Love the Lord your God with all your heart. So how do we do that? How do we do that here? By helping with the Aliyah. There's these promises. Where are they? Right here. This is the Aliyah prophecy. So we are, people here can't all make Aliyah, but you can help with, pray for, encourage, strengthen the Aliyah. So that's how we love the Lord, by helping with his Aliyah dream. The one he gave to Jacob wasn't Jacob's dream. It was God's dream of Aliyah. So we're here, we can bless God with it. What's the second one? First is love God. What's the next one?
Love your neighbor.
Love your neighbors. And how do we do that? In unconditional love, in uncompromising faith. There's people that come here that are Orthodox. People that are secular. I don't know if he's Orthodox, secular, whatever. People that come and we don't have any conditions. Most people don't know what unconditional love is. Do you know what unconditional love is? No conditions. That's what unconditional. So I'm really excited that we had such a nice time yesterday, just relaxing and enjoying. And in this time of war, 2 years. I know people are asking me, so I'm just going to answer. Chaim, you still have your uniform on. Usually, you still have your little remember the soldiers, remember the hostages. Hostages haven't all come home yet. Yeah. Still some bodies to come home. Yeah. And there's this feeling like it's a false peace. Yeah. I think Trump's doing a great job. Netanyahu doing a great job, but it doesn't feel like it's peace. Just being honest. I mean, you look at how they're building up all the troops. They're planning. CENTCOM just now said they're planning a mass execution of any opposing. Because there's all these militias popping up. Small ones like the most famous one, Yasser Abu Shabab. That's the most famous one. But there's other ones that it's, what it is when you have a family, the father of the family is Rosh Hamula. He says, I choose to stand with Israel. That means all the cousins, the grandkids. You have 50, 60, 70, 100 people in one family in Gaza. So there was a family just now that switched. There's one family, and they were not the Yasser Abu Shabab. He's like, my family stands with Israel. That made everybody, all the Hamas and the Hamas supporters, very mad. But that was 70 people right there. So you guys feel free to sit, have a seat. That was 70 people right there in a snap. So imagine how many people. It's not like in the West we're all individuals, right? Everyone's just individuals. What they think, what they feel. But here in the Middle East, it's tribes. So you could get a tribe like that, a few tribes. You have Gaza has a revolution by tribes, by hamulas, by families, So here's my encouragement. You guys ready for my week? Every week I do an encouragement just to encourage everybody in their pathway. It's been 2 years. We're not over yet, but we have a moment here, a moment to breathe. I am going back to the Army today. So that's the plan, is to go back today after this. Spend a little time, go to the office, and then go to the Army. And it's been 2 years. It's been really tough, but we have a moment to breathe. So here's my encouragement is, guess what happened in the book of Genesis, chapter, we'll just do 41, whatever, and Genesis 41. And you have a cool story about a guy called Joseph. 2 years had fully passed. Okay, so, one fast second. ראיתי אותך בכביש, אני פה באמצע עידוד של כל המתנדבים בבית זרע. איזה יופי. אז כן, נהיה במשרד, נדבר. משהו דחוף ממש? אז זה לא לעכשיו, לא, זה המייל האישי שלי. אוקיי, אז נגיע למשרד, נדבר על הכל. אני פשוט באמצע. אוקיי? אוקיי, ביי. Alright, so what it is when 2 full years had passed, this is Bereshit 41 verse 1. Bereshit, Genesis. Who knows what Bereshit is?
Genesis.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
Bereshit. When 2 full years had passed, what happened? Pharaoh had a dream. When the Lord returned the hostages, we were as those who dreamed. When the hostages came back, we were as those who dreamed. When God returned the captivity, we were as those who dreamed. So you can see it starting to weave together a little thing about we got to still dream. The dream of Israel. God's dream. We got to still dream it. Even though it's hard, even though it's impossible, we got to still dream. Okay, so what happened is you had Joseph was 2 years, was it? 2 years in prison, in a prison.
Cave, same thing.
It's like in captivity. He's like in a tunnel, Hamas tunnel. He's there in, so they weren't Arabs at the time, but they were, anyway, Egyptians holding him. Gaza was under Egypt. It's like he's been held for 2 years, 2 full years. And there was all these moments where he thought he'd get out. Maybe a deal, maybe the army, maybe the cupbearer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to make it like it's today, bring a revelation of today. So there was the cupbearer. What happened in one chapter back, 40, Bereshit 40? He says, this cupbearer had a dream, and the baker had a dream where he's like cooking all these boekas. What is boekas? It's these baked goods for the Pharaoh, and he's like, well, which one? Did you guys remember which one gets out and which one gets hanged? The baker got executed. Yeah, and so that's really sad. But the cupbearer, he got hanged, but the cupbearer was restored to doing the wine tasting, that it's not poison and that it's good, whatever. Specifically, probably that it's not poison. You heard what happened to Assad, right? To Bashar al-Assad, that he got poisoned, drank something, and I don't know if I think he's still alive. But point is, that was always an issue, so he should have a cupbearer. I'm surprised he doesn't. Okay, so the chief cupbearer, though, didn't remember him even.
Yeah.
A lot of people remembered the hostages. A lot of people were like, hey, remember the hostages. So at least we remembered them. But it didn't work to get Joseph out. For 2 years, it was like God was allowing for it. I don't know. God could have just got him out. What's this whole deal of letting 2 years happen? But my point is, he didn't stop dreaming. You remember Joseph's dream? Who can tell me Joseph's dream? Joseph himself had a dream.
Yeah.
Couple dreams.
That his parents and his brothers would bow down to him.
Well, it says specifically in Genesis 37, we were binding sheaves like Omer, like the Omer count. I don't know. Sounds like the Omer count. He's getting these sheaves gathered together, and he's like, suddenly, your sheaves were gathered around, and they bowed down to my sheaf in Genesis 37, verse 7. It doesn't sound like that. You're in a prison, bro, modern language. You're in a prison, bro. I don't know about all this. Okay, but guess what? You have also the stars, right? The sun, moon, and stars, Genesis 37, verse 9. He said, listen, I had a dream. This time, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to this guy called Yosef. Who here can believe that God still has plans to Losif, to, what does that mean? To add to Israel. Not just the hostages, but to add blessing to Israel. Okay, so now back to Pharaoh. We're talking about dreams. Back to Pharaoh's dream. Pharaoh had this dream which says, not the cupbearer, not the baker, not Joseph's dreams. Now we're going to Pharaoh's dream.
Yeah.
Jumping dream to dream. Or dream jumping. Okay? Now, Pharaoh, what was his dream? What was Pharaoh's dream? 7 lean cows. This was, by the way, after 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have 7 years of drought here. I'm not saying that. We just had 2 years that were hard. I'm not interpreting that there's going to be 7 drought years and then 7 good years. But that's what he had, is after 2 years.
It was the other way around.
Yes, it was.
Aha.
I agree.
I'm just
Seven
checking.
good years.
That is
Yes,
exactly
yes.
right. I'll read it. That's exactly right. He had 7. Let's just read it. It's in Genesis 41. I'll just turn there. Genesis 41. And this Pharaoh, had a dream.
18.
What is it? 41 verse 18?
Yeah, because he told him to
Yeah.
put the thing, double your storage, so that for your lean years you have.
Yeah. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I've dreamed a dream and there's no one that can interpret it.
Yeah.
I heard that you can interpret this dream. So he says, look, I'm on the banks of the river, not the Jordan River, on the Nile, and there came out 7 fat-fleshed, favored, and they fed in a meadow. And there was 7 other that came after, very poor, lean. and barren, right? Okay. Again, I'm not saying that we're living in a time where we're about to see 7 good years in Israel, and then it gets cut short after 3.5 years, and then it's not saying that. But you never know.
Yeah.
Okay? And anyway, then there were 7 bad cows, and it was da-da-da. And all the magicians and all these people, and they could do magic. They were turning sticks into snakes. They had some magic there, you know, but they weren't able to do it. Okay? So what happens? What happens is you have Joseph interprets this dream to him, and he says, Pharaoh, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. And he is the interpreter. This Hebrew, this Jewish person. Nowadays, it seems like in Israel, we're in a stage where people aren't really having dreams or prophetic words. It's kind of like we're in a stage like the Vulcans, if you've ever seen Star Trek. We're all like Vulcans. We know how to, we're really smart. We know how to read lots of cool things and make sense of a lot of things. But it's not like we're the time of Enoch flying around into different galaxies and Ezekiel, and it's kind of like a different time. I do think we'll come back to that time sometime soon. But that's just, we're just not at that place anymore right now for whatever reason. But time's going to come where once again dreams. It says it in Joel, that says old men will dream dreams, young men will have visions. This is not really happening right now, but I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to. It says it's going to happen. So that's pretty cool when that happens. So here we are, and there may be 7 nice years coming up right now after 2 years. There may be, okay, with this deal of the century, is it called? Or it's called the peace in the Middle East.
20 points, right?
The 20 points.
Right.
I do know everything inside me says that they're going to try to trick us. They are already in front of our eyes tricking us. They're planning a big massacre of any opponents. They're trying to solidify their power and all this stuff. But I just want to say this as I summarize. Who here thinks that God's dreams are not, that God's dreams, that even one part of them is not going to happen? Even one tiny part of, these are, by the way, the Aliyah scriptures, you can have it if you want. Who here thinks that any single part of God's dream is not going to happen?
No way.
No, every single thing's going to happen. He says, I'm going to gather, it really says all the Jewish people in what is it, Jeremiah 49?
Not
30,
one of them will be left.
not one. 39 it is at the end of the chapter. Not one shall be left, but they're all going to be gathered. That's the Aliyah dream of God. And they're going to prosper. I will rejoice over them to do them good. Plant them in the land with all my heart, all of my soul. Rejoice over them. Not some of the other theologies out there. Oh, Israel's just destined to forever suffer. No, that's not what God says. Okay, so we saw that it was hard. He was in prison, sold into slavery. These hostages were like slaves. They were slaves, essentially, modern day slaves. God knows what all women had to undergo and all this stuff. But we're promised to be the head, not the tail. Deuteronomy 28, verse 13. This nation is a light to the nations. Isaiah 60, verse 1. Behold, the kings are going to come to the brightness of your rising and all that, you know? Great Geulah is happening. And I'm going to go even deeper, if you want, just to end this. I'm doing a whole lot in a tiny little time. Just to end, how about something out of the Babylonian Talmud? Okay? Okay, I haven't ended. Babylonian Talmud, Pirkei of Rabbi Eliezer, and it talks about there is a Mashiach ben Yosef. This is just from the Talmud. Okay? Targum Yonatan talks about this guy is going to lead Israel in a war against Gog and Magog, and it talks about he's going to set the stage for Mashiach ben David. Okay? It's this guy called Mashiach's Rabbi, son of Joseph. He's going to set the way for the Mashiach ben David. This is what is thought. Okay, people can interpret whatever they want. This is in the Babylonian Talmud in Sukkah 52a. The Messiah, son of Joseph, will be killed before the coming of the Messiah, son of David. Okay, I don't know. But you know how Joseph was a salvation for. He's going to be a rescuer. We were hungry. We needed food. So he came and rescued us from death, which is great. Last one, Targum. The Targum talks about Zechariah 12 And he thinks that it's going to be a descendant of Ephraim, tribe of Ephraim. I don't know, just interesting. And okay, here's what it says, the quote from the Babylonian Talmud, Sukkah 52a. The Holy One, blessed is he, will say to the Messiah, Ben David, ask me whatever you wish. And he will say, ask only for life. I ask only for life. Because they will look upon him who they pierced, will mourn for him as one mourns for his only son. This is the Mashiach ben Yosef talking. I guess to the Mashiach ben David. Interesting. So my point is to summarize everything. Every dream of the Lord. Let's just look to Habakkuk 2 verse 2, which is write down the vision, make it plain, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 is the end of my little speech here. And write down the vision, make it plain on tablets. This is like tablets here. This is like the words are written clear, that he may run that reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end it will speak and not lie. Though it tarry 2 years, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry. The tzaddik be'emunato yichyeh. Righteous will live by faith. So I think that we've been through a time which is not wasted. God could have taken Joseph out anytime he wanted, but he allowed Joseph to go through this time. And the end of the story is that Joseph became this like emperor, the prime minister of Egypt, second most powerful in the whole land, saved Israel. We had bread. We formulated the whole nation there. We were just tribes. Then we became a nation, and we came Aliyah from there, and the whole story. So I do think that God is doing the same thing again with us, taking us, letting us go through a very hard time, but it's all going to work out for the best, because every bit of God's dream wasn't Jacob's dream. It's God's dream, and he's like, Jacob, you can be part of the dream. And that's the end of my thing. You can be part of the dream. If you want to be part of the dream, you can be. We're here volunteering. We're here helping. We're here blessing. So that is my encouragement. Have a great week to each of you. Yay. You like that?